Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Dee from SimplyDeeBeauty. In today's video, I want to show you the new Wayne Goss. The Goss Edit Collection is his new brush set, and here they are. I have already used them, so that's why they're a little bit dirty. I used it today to apply the makeup I have on, and I will show you a little demo later on. But first of all, I want to talk briefly about the brushes. They are all handcrafted by Japanese artisans. The body of the brush is the material, it is of maple wood, and the bristles are all from Saikoko goat, except one of them is a mix between Saikoko goat hair and a form of polyester. But they're all, for the most part, they're all natural hair brushes. And I like the way they look. If you see on the back, they have like this little thread thing. They're very similar in design to, I call them the paint brushes, but I think they're called the Artist Collection or something like that. They're very similar in the design, in the shape and design, but the color is a little bit different. So I'm going to talk briefly about each one of them. The number one, they have all one number, so I'm going to go by order. The number one, which is this one, is perfect for applying powder, bronzer, blush, and highlight. Perfect shape. And I use this for my bronzer because it's a little bit bigger than the other one, so that's what I use it for, and you'll see that later on. But you could use it for blush, for powder, for highlighting, for bronzer, for whatever you like, basically, whatever you think is best for your shape, for your face. So here's number one. The number two is designed for foundation, and that's what I used it for. It is a more dense, it's still very fluffy, a more dense brush. It's perfect for buffing cream, liquid, or powder foundations for a seamless second skin finish, easier than ever before. And it was very easy to apply the foundation with this. The number three is very similar in shape to the paint brushes, the medium one. You see the shape, they're very similar. Again, this, I've already washed it and used it for a long time, so it's a little bit more fluffier, but I think they're identical, and not identical, very similar. And this one is good for, I use it for highlighting and for blush. You could use it for highlight, contour, and applying powder along the curves of your face, because it is a perfect shape like for the side of your nose and for like those under your eye. Number four, I used it for concealer because it's a nice shape, very soft, and it fits in those small spaces, and it's very similar to the number three, or the small one of the Artist Collection. Very similar. I think they're exactly the same shape, almost exactly. It is good for concealer, for highlight in those hard to reach places, or to blend eyeshadow. So number 5, 6, and 7 are for the eye area, and that's what I used it for. The number 5, which is this one here, is a fluffy brush. It's like the same shape of the other one before, but smaller, way smaller. And this is designed for all eye shapes in mind. The silky soft bristles deposit and diffuse eyeshadow along the crease in just a few swipes. I use this for the contour area to apply it right here. And also I got a little bit of eyeshadow on the tip and applied it on around the contour of my eye, because I do have hooded eyes and I wanted to give it that extra depth, extra dimension, so it's perfect for that. The number 6 is again the same shape, perfect to apply eyeshadow as well. It is good for blending eyeshadow in a delicate shape, which softens shadow without patchiness or muddiness. And that's what I use it for. I use it to apply here on the outer area of my eyelid, and I also use a little bit on the other side to highlight here on my brow bone area and my tear duct area. It was very easy to use. And the smallest of the 7, which is this one, it's small, but it's a little bit more, I found it a little bit more dense, and has like a nice little nice tip. The slim shape fits perfect into the crease or any other tricky area. I didn't use it in the crease because again I used the other one, so tricky area for me is right under the waterline, and that's where I used it. And it's very pointy, so I could also use it, but it's dense enough that I could apply eyeliner on the top with eyeshadow. Also saw in Wayne Goss's launch video, which I'm gonna put the link down below so you guys could watch. He explains it so nicely. He explained that you could also use this brush or other brushes like for concealer around the lip area to give you a more pouty look. I didn't use it for that, but I think it's good. And you could also use like this number 6. I think you could also use it around your nose on this really small areas. That's also good for that. And I also saw a video of Mel Thompson. She did a really gorgeous video of using these brushes. I'm gonna put the link of her video as well. Those are only 2 videos I've seen in reference to these brushes, so I haven't seen a lot about it yet, but I'm gonna link them down below for you guys to check them out, because she does, well, she's beautiful and she does her makeup so beautifully, and she gives it like I kind of use the brushes kind of in the same way that she did, but she does a different application than I do, so it's also good to see another perspective. If you want to see how I got this look and how I use these brushes in real life, then watch this demo. So the first thing is, of course, my foundation. So what I'm going to use today is the Care Waste foundation. Light Porcelain is the shade. The one I'm going to use is the number 2, which is good like for foundations and liquid blushes and things like that. So it is more dense, more compact. It's good also for buffing, cream, liquid, or powder foundations. So let's try it out. I'm going to pour some of the foundation on the back of my hand. Maybe I can do it with my finger and just put it all over my face. And I just start buffing out. It's very soft, very fluffy. It doesn't like pinch me or itch me, which I hate that on other brushes. I think that I applied it seamlessly. It feels very soft, very fluffy, and there's not a lot of pickup as I would think, which I think is true with natural hairs. I'm not an expert in brushes, but I think with natural hairs there's not a lot of pickup as with like synthetic brushes, so maybe that's why. I'm gonna go for a second round to get a little bit more. This foundation is light coverage, but it is buildable. So I'm gonna go back directly with a brush now to see if that makes a difference, and I'm gonna go back to like here in my cheek area where I have a little more pigmentation. So there you go. It applied very nicely. So now I'm going to use the number 4, which is better for like concealers. This is the number 4, the very pointy tip, and I'm going to use my By Terry concealer that, yes, it does have an applicator, but I've never used the applicator to apply my concealer. So I'm just going to put it on in the areas that I need, and then I'm going to use the brush to apply it. The tip is really good for those small areas and to apply it under the waterline. I do like the brushes, they're very soft, but I always like with my finger, like I really press it in. I feel like the brush is so soft that I'm just moving around the concealer. It's not really going in unless I'm doing it wrong. So if you think I'm doing it wrong, please correct me and let me know in the comments down below. So I think I will continue applying the concealer the way I've always done with my finger, and then I'll use that brush for maybe like highlighting or for something else. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to apply the eyeshadow. I'm going to stick to Wayne Goss. I'm going to use the Luxury Eye Palette. It is, as of the date, at the time that I'm filming, it is still available on the website on beautylish.com. I'm going to put the links of all the products I'm mentioning or putting on today. I am going to put them in the description down below. So I'm going to use this eyeshadow palette. I'm not going to use the black today or nothing like that. I'm going to keep it very simple, but just to show or to play around with the brushes. So I'm going to get the number 5. Basically 5, 6, and 7 are all for the eyes, which are these 3. Number 5, number 6, and number 7. So I'm going to get number 5, which is like the fluffy crease brush, and I am going to, I think I'm going to go first with this matte right here, this matte, and apply it all over the lid and the outer corner. It picks up really nicely. It is so fluffy, so soft. It doesn't pinch me, it doesn't itch me, it doesn't like hurt, and it just applies it so nicely. I'm gonna get a little bit more and just apply it in the outer corner. I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Something I want to mention, in the case of if you have hooded eyes like I do, this is a very pointy, and so are the other two, but this is very pointy. It has a good tip, so if you want to go back in the crease just here with the tip, I got a little bit of the shadow and just applied it a little bit more just to intensify right here. I think it's good. It's great for hooded eyes like mine, and it's like the perfect size, not too big, not too small. Now I'm gonna grab the number 6, which is a little bit more compact, more dense. I'm gonna grab this one right here. Actually, I'm gonna do it with my finger. I'm gonna use this for the lighter color right here and use it as a highlight in my brow area and also on the inner corner. But with my finger, I'm gonna go and grab this one because it's like a shimmer, a pressed shimmer that is best picked up with a finger. And I'm just gonna apply it like this all over the inner corner. Then with the number 7, which is like the smallest amount of them, I'm gonna go back with this more terracotta color and apply it on the waterline. It's like the perfect tip. I think I'm gonna go back with that same color, use it as like an eyeliner in the top. There you go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply a mascara off camera, but I'm going to use a bronzer. This one I'm using now is from Wayne Goss. It's called the Radiance Boosting Face Palette. I got the shade Light Gold. It's still in stock in beautylish.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the number 1 before I apply any bronzer or anything like that. I'm going to put some setting powder. I'm going to use the Chantecaille Flower Power Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. So just, I know it's not a setting powder, but I'm just going to get a little bit. Actually, yeah, I'm going to use it with the same brush. I'm not going to use another brush. I'm going to stick to Wayne Goss. And I'm just going to apply right here on the cheek area because the Care Waste is I find that it does get a little bit, I wouldn't say wet. It doesn't dry up as other foundations. And it needs some powder on top. And it's also a blurring powder, so all my pores are basically gone or hidden. Now I could do the bronzer. I'm just gonna grab this one, the one on the left, and just apply softly on the corners of on the perimeter of my face. So I'm just gonna apply some bronzer right here to a C motion, just to add some color to my face, and then some on the jawline right here. And then with that same brush, I'm just gonna buff it out. Just a little bit of color. And then it's big enough for like the face, but it's also small enough, I think, to fit it on the sides of my nose. I don't think I need contouring on my nose, but just to test it out, I think it's a very good size as well. Though the smaller one will probably be a little bit better, but I think this is still a good size. I'm gonna use the Wayne Goss the Weightless Veil blush palette in the shade Coral Rose. This one is currently out of stock. But before I use this, I want to do a test. I want to try this Chantecaille Chic Gelée. It's a liquid blush. I've never used a liquid blush before, so I want to first of all try it for the first time and also test it with the brushes. I'm gonna use the number 3 brush because the brush to use will be probably the number 1, but it is dirty right now, so I'm not gonna clean it. I'm just gonna put like 1 dot in the back of my hand, apply it with like I've never done this before, so I'm gonna tread carefully and just apply like 1 dot here, 3 dots. Oh, let me see what this does. Well, maybe it's a little bit too pink for my taste, but it actually applies very nicely. And I realize it's the same one I apply the highlighter on my brow bone, so I have like a little bit of shimmer on my cheeks, but that's okay. I think it applies very nicely. I want to try out a powder blush. I'm going to use this one by Wayne Goss, and then I'm going to use the one on the right for a highlighter. With that same brush, I'm not going to change brushes. And a little bit does go along the way. I use a lot this time, but now for next time I know that I don't have to use that much. I'm going to flip the brush, and I'm going to just get a little bit of, it's called Coral Rose, because it does have some pink. So let me see. There's a problem with executions because of me, not because of the brushes, because it's a little bit too pink for my taste. The brush did an excellent job of applying it. I have nothing negative to say of these brushes. I'm gonna grab that same brush on the other side. I'm just gonna grab some of the highlighter and apply it where I normally apply highlighter, like right here. Look how beautiful that highlighter is. I think in person it looks fine. I don't know why in the camera it's just showing like a bar of pink right here, but then in person it just looks beautiful. Maybe it's like the lighting or like the shadow of my face, I don't know. But the brushes are just gorgeous, very easy to work with. I love them. I love it. It was my first impression. They're very soft. I'm very happy that I got them. So I'm gonna apply my mascara off camera and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I apply my mascara and also my lipstick, and I just want to say that I really enjoyed using these brushes. Congratulations, Wayne Goss, for making such an amazing collection. I didn't expect nothing different. I really enjoyed them. They're very soft, easy to work with. They picked up the product very nicely. So I'm gonna put the links of everything that I used today, including the brushes. I'm gonna put all the links in the description box below. Let me know in the comments below if you are thinking of picking up these brushes, or if you already did, let me know what's your thought of them. I want to thank you for coming by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.